And there we go. What is going on, everyone? Thank you for coming back to another episode of Meet Your Maker. I know, guys, it's been a while since we did the actual Meet Your Maker format, man. I'm so happy to be back, and I'm happy to have my guest tonight, Pete from Damn Yankee on. Pete, how you doing tonight, brother?
Hey, doing good. What's going on with you?
Hey, man, just happy to be back to normal a little bit. Enjoying being back on my channel, doing my thing. Who claimed first? You guys seem to be arguing over first a little bit, but I got to tell you, is on my screen, the first person to say it is Joshua Ricks. There were people in here first, but he was the first one to claim it. Just saying, you know.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. You're not
I mean,
first
they're
or last.
claiming third. All right, let's take some lows. Vato, Rob, Josh, Imo, what's going on, brother? I ain't seen you in a while. Tiki, Chris, Russ, yeah, Michael, Bushy Beards, everybody. What's going on, guys? If I missed you, I'm sorry. Bearded Hillbilly, Billy Rogers, everyone. What's going on? I hope everyone's having a great night. So, just to kind of catch everyone up here, Pete was actually supposed to come on the show about a month or so back now. We were supposed to do this, and things happened in my life, and I had to cancel. Pete was awesome about it. He understood. And we said as soon as the opening came, we would get him right back on the show. So first opening that was here, I got Pete back.
It's good to see you, and I think I probably speak for a lot of guys out there that say it's good to see you again, man.
Yeah, it's funny, man. Like this whole little world that we've all built, this beard world of ours, I've made some amazing relationships in it, and in actuality, a lot of these guys were checking on me more than like actual people in my life were. These guys were making sure I was okay, and they were reaching out on a constant basis. And it's pretty cool, man. It's really cool to have a place like this where you've got some people you can really count on.
Yeah, absolutely. And as it so often does, life got in the way, and that's okay. We get through it, and here you are back strong.
Yeah. Somebody boot Vato. You guys are crazy. You know that, but I love every one of you, I swear. Yeah. What's going on, Corey? How you doing, Tyson? So, Pete, I don't know if you've watched before. I'm sure somebody by now. I'm sure you've watched one of them by now. We like to bring different makers on from around the community, get to know you a little bit, have a good time, talk about some stuff. But more recently, because of what's happened in my situation, I got a little like opening section here I like to get through. Number one is the family safe and healthy? Is everybody doing okay right now in these crazy times?
Oh, that for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't know if that was, yeah, no, it's good. We had a little scare around Christmas time that we might have been exposed to some COVID, but everybody tested negative. So, all's well that ends well. We had to cut a couple of Christmas short, but they're postponed. They're not canceled. So, Santa will still be. Santa's running a couple weeks behind, but he'll be back.
I mean, listen, it's been a crazy year. It was a crazy 2020 for everyone. Here's hoping for a much, much better 2021, man, because I don't want to think of what happens if it actually gets worse. That doesn't even want to cross my mind. So to me, it has to get better. It has to.
Yeah, I know. I don't know where you go from there. I mean, I guess the only if a giant meteor hits the Earth, that's the only way it could possibly get any worse. But
yeah, that's essentially my thinking as well. Here is how much worse can things really get? I don't want to find out. So I'm going to say that the worst was in 2020 and 2021. It has to get better somehow, some way, somehow. It's got to get better.
Well, there you go. One can only hope. You said Tyson is in here. I can't see the comments. So
Tyson's in here.
This is my dollar store version of Tyson's lighting setup. So I tried my best to replicate his gear with my meager resources. So.
Hey, listen, man. I got my ring light up here, and then my Walking Dead lamp. That's what I got, dude. You
Yeah.
work with what you got. That's it. You make it work, brother.
Yeah, no, I can't. I don't look good in lighting as good as you have. That's why I keep things, nice and low. It makes me look better.
There you go, man. Hey, whatever works for you, right? What's going on, Scott? Uh, 21 and sucks this far. Hey, man, we're just getting started. You got to give it time. We're just getting out of the blocks. Hold on. Give it a minute here, you know?
We're still warming up.
Also, I know it's a secondary question during all the COVID business, but how has Damn Yankee as a company fared during COVID times?
That's a really interesting question, and I don't do a lot of blog posts, but I did one about a week ago, just kind of, looking back on 2020, and I mean, I have to say, I mean, it ended great. In the thick of it, back in the spring, not so much. But then
Right.
again, it's really hard to expect guys to be focused on beard care when, maybe they're furloughed or laid off of their job. So they got financial issues or they've got maybe health issues, family issues. So, from that standpoint, it's kind of understandable that, that what Damn Yankee does should understandably take a back seat. And we did. I released a collection like the 1st of March, and I was really debating in my head, like, is this a good idea? I'm like, I don't know if this is a good idea. But, I'd already had a few months in development at that point, and so I'm like, I'm kind of committed, at that point. So I just went ahead and released it, and it didn't do that great, but I wasn't expecting that it would. But, I mean, from a beard standpoint, the rest of the year did okay. I was surprised. So, and it goes without saying that, that I couldn't be any more thankful for our customers and our supporters because, anybody spending their money on me during this COVID, nonsense, it just blows my mind. So, I'm really, really grateful to everybody who supported us, in 2020 and continues to support us, so far in 2021. I'm humbled by it, really.
Yeah, it's got to be an amazing feeling. And Russ, I'm going to assume that question is directed at me. Mom is still in the rehab center. She's probably going to be in some type of assisted living facility, long-term care for the rest of her life, unfortunately. They have found out that she cannot eat on her own anymore, so she's going to have to be on a feeding tube as well. And unfortunately, we still have to deal with the scare that just happened where she was exposed to COVID. So she's in quarantine right now, away from normal patients. They've done multiple tests. They've all come back negative, but I guess as a precautionary measure, they still quarantine her for at least 10 days, apparently, even if all the tests come back negative. So it's just little things just keep popping up. But all I wish is that we could go see her right now. That would make me feel 100 times better. I just hate the fact that she's in there by herself and none of her family can go see her. That's driving me nuts, but I understand that it that way for everyone, not just us. Beer times with Scott. Damn Yankee will always have my support 100%.
Aw. Yeah, no, I appreciate that, man, and no, it's been. Okay, no, that's a good question, Bearded Billy. So the Tobacco Bay Leaf will be back on the website in probably about a week or so. The company.
It's right there. I got it. See?
Buy it from it. The company that makes that oil is out of stock right now. So believe me, that's like the first thing I check every morning when I wake up is see if they've got it back in stock. So hopefully in the next week to week and a half, I should be able to have it back up there, and I will post about it on Instagram when I have it live again. But believe me, I'm anxious to get it back.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. Appreciate that one, man. Appreciate that. Scott liked my review today, and Scott doesn't like anybody, so that's pretty cool. That works for me.
You know, that barbershop scent that you reviewed was one of the first candles that we made that went to Scott. He's got, I think the first. Well, I made a test one for me, and then once that worked out a couple of the kinks, I sent him one. So yeah, he's a big fan of that as well, and so.
Dude, I'm telling you, you absolutely just kicked the door down for me when it came to barbershop scents, because I don't know what it was, but in my mind, anytime I saw a barbershop, I would be like, oh, a barbershop. Like, just because they just didn't, I didn't get what everybody else was talking about, really. I didn't like them that much. Yeah. This one is really nice, though, dude. You really...
I'm probably a bad person to ask because I haven't actually been to the barber since 1994, and
yeah.
That's for real. I have been shaving my head for over 25 years. So, and the funny thing is, I haven't really tried a lot of other companies' barbershops. The truth of it is, most of the time, I'm developing new stuff. And so I'm experimenting on me. So, you know, I've bought other companies' stuff from time to time, and I try to wear it when I can. But I just, I'm experimenting on me like 99% of the time.
Right, of course.
Man, there's so many companies I want to try, so many scents I want to try. It just there's more companies and scents than there are days in the week. So I'm sure you know a little something about that.
Oh, more than a little something about it, my friend. But I love every minute of it, though. That's the thing. That's what I tell guys when they ask me about possibly starting their own channel and stuff. I'm like, listen, you have to love this. You have to love every second of it, because the view counts and the subscriber, that stuff doesn't happen overnight. It's going to take a while to get there. So you have to absolutely love doing this, trying out new stuff, experiencing different products, things like that. You have to love it, and I do, man. I love everything I have on my shelf.
And you know, and by the way, you know, just so it doesn't go unsaid, and I'm sure everybody who knows you, this won't be a surprise to anyone, but I was really, really impressed by the amount of time you've put into trying this stuff, right? And you know, and I've seen some reviews. We've been around for a little while, like you said in the video, and I've seen some reviews where somebody, you know, opens the bottle and kind of, yeah, that smells good. Thanks, everybody. And then that's the end of the review. Right. You know, I call that a smells good review. And I've had a few smells good reviews in the last couple of years, but you really took some time. I mean, you took a good, hey, Carrie, you took a good week and a half or 2 weeks, or maybe even more, actually, you know, down in the trenches with that stuff. So I really appreciate, you know, when I see something like that, because I know you've got a ton of content to put out and a ton of stuff to try. So the time that you took to do it, I really appreciate it, man.
Oh, man. Well, you know what you just said is actually one of my biggest pet peeves. I hate, and I get it, everybody's going to do their own thing. It's your channels, have fun, whatever you're going to do, right? But it drives me nuts when I see a review that is basically just that. It's smells good, it's amazing. Put it down.
Yeah.
That doesn't tell me anything about the product, though. Like, because scent profiles are so subjective that just because I think something smells amazing doesn't mean you're going to like it at all. You know, I want to know about the actual product. How did you live with it? Did you love it? Did you want to wear it the next day? Did you not want to wear it? Things like that.
And you know what? And kudos to you too for being honest. You know, about the PSL. Hey, that was the last minute decision, right? Because I was working on another scent, and it didn't work out for various reasons, and so for the last minute addition, and I was sitting there in this room actually, and I was like, are guys gonna buy a pumpkin spice latte beard oil? I'm like, I'm not sure. Let's find out. And the answer is no. The answer is no, they won't. But so I found out for sure that there's like a couple of guys that really liked it, and then it was largely ignored after that. Right?
So yeah, I'm the wrong guy to test out the pumpkin spice stuff on. I'm the first one to admit it. I don't like it. No, sir. It is not for me. There are some out there who really enjoy it, and that's cool for them, but it's just not a me thing. And when I saw it in the package, I was like, I was like, but I still gave it a shot, though. I still gave it a shot, right? You know, I still tried wearing it the whole nine, and it just didn't cut it for me. No,
that's okay. That's all right. I'll get it next time.
All the other ones were great. Homecoming really was amazing. That's a very nice profile, dude. Very nice profile.
Well, thank you. You know, it's funny. It's one of those things, and it's going to come as no surprise to you that like 2020 was like the year of Ood, right? And I don't even know that I'd ever heard of Ood until maybe early 2020, and then it was like all I heard about. It's like every company released an Ood scent, and I'm like, to be honest with you, man, I was like, I don't know if I want to jump on that train just because so many companies were doing it. The answer is I do not personally have any horses, but my 12-year-old rides, and he has access to, I think, six or seven, I think, I don't remember. But,
oh, wow. Very cool.
Yeah. It's and it's funny. There's so many stereotypes about Texas, and the fact is a lot of them are true. But so now my 12-year-old rides. So we spent a fair amount of time around horses. But yeah, so that's for those who don't know, that's where. About Texas.
I only know one Texas stereotype, and that's that the worst football team in the world comes from Texas. That's all I know. That's the only one I know, sir.
You know, well, what can I say? No, so the place where we are from is kind of on the north side of Fort Worth. So we are kind of in the Dallas, Fort Worth area, and there's a lot of beard companies actually pretty close to here. Ferocious Beard Company is about a 10-minute drive from me. So Nate's a good buddy of mine. You just heard from Kerry a minute ago. He's down a little bit further south. So, and then of course you've got Pedro out in El Paso. You've got several guys in Dallas. So Texas is doing okay in the beard game.
I know. I like a lot of you guys out there. I gotta take a journey out to Texas and then plot it out and stop by and say, well, obviously after COVID, but still got to make my way out there and say what's up to everyone.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah. No shortage of them out here, but no, the name of the company is an inside joke with me and my wife. So you're in Jersey, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So like in Jersey, like a big deal if you're from there, like if you're like a native, is that like a big deal? And like if you weren't born there, then you're not quite.
Yeah, we'll give you a little bit of like you're not. Yeah, you're a Jersey implant. We'll call you. You came over.
So my wife is a native Texan. I am not. Although I've lived in Dallas since 1975, I wasn't born here. Yeah, there you go.
He knows me and my pizza, though. It better be real pizza. Like Carrie, it better be real pizza, dude.
Are we gonna have a Chicago versus New York discussion? Because I hate to say it, but I'm falling on the Chicago side.
I don't mind. I like Chicago pizza, but New York style will always rule the roost for me. I guess that's just where you're located more. Sometimes.
Absolutely. So it's kind of just an inside joke between me and my wife, but so yeah, I'm Yankee, even though I've lived here since the 70s. But
right. So we had a discussion about Homecoming though because of the scent profile on it. I had to message him because I'm like, dude, what's fake oud? I was like, what is fake oud? And I was actually quite impressed by the answer you gave me, which was Go ahead. You can go ahead and tell it to him.
Yeah, well, like I told you a minute ago, I mean, I don't think I'd even heard of Ood until probably the
Right.
beginning of 2020. And so I watched all the videos that you watch, and everybody was posting about it, and it just seemed to me that the guys who were into Ood took it really seriously, that like it was, well, because it's super expensive, right? I mean, it's real
Right.
Ood is incredibly expensive. Um, Whoops. So I think that's why, like a lot of companies are probably using, fragrance Oud, which is what I did. But I wanted to make sure that people knew that I wasn't portraying it as, hey, this is real Oud. I mean, I wanted to make sure that people knew that, hey, this is a fragrance oil. So if you're like an Oud guy, if you're an Oud person, this is a fragrance. And I just wanted to make sure people knew that, that I wasn't trying to misrepresent it in some way. So.
I thought that was a pretty cool explanation, honestly, because I don't know that everyone would have put the fake oud on the bottle, or if people would even feel that it's a fake oud, really, because it's still an oud fragrance, right? But I got what you were trying to say, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Like, I thought that
Plus it
was a
made me
pretty cool
laugh.
thing. Yeah, it definitely made me laugh. I was like, fake oud? What? Fake?
Yeah.
What? I was, I was like, well, I know I like the real oud, so let's see if I like the fake one. Apparently, I do. By the way.
There you go. Well, I appreciate that. That was one of those. I don't know, the fall scents. They did okay. I mean, they did really, really well in 2019, the previous year. And I don't know if it was just COVID or if it was just maybe the scents, the profiles weren't a little wonky. So yeah, I released. I'll be the first to. I released some weird stuff in 2020. I released in the fall. I released the one that was pineapple and clove. That was in the same collection that that you had, and I think like maybe 3 or 4 people bought it, and that was about it. So I kind of shelved that one, but I like it. But it was a weird profile, and I don't think people got it, and that's okay. I was kind of experimenting. What's up, Chef? And
how you doing, Eric?
One of my goals for 2020, and this will be more apparent, here pretty shortly, but one of my goals this year is to kind of, bring it a little bit back closer to home, right? So kind of get back to a little bit more, normal, kind of.
Right. So, my friend, let me get into a few questions here about your company just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
First of all, when did you decide to get into the beard game? What made you do it? Why'd you do it? Why the beard world?
Oh, that's a good question. So it was Valentine's Day, probably 2016 or 2017. I haven't had a beard that long. I've had a beard like maybe 5 years.
Okay.
And because I was one of those guys, younger, when I was younger, it's like, I was one of those I can't grow a beard guys, right? Because it was just all patchy and weird, and I'm like, okay, well, this didn't work out. But I just decided, like 2016, okay, I'm just gonna let it go, and just whatever happens, happens, and it started to fill in, do okay. So for Valentine's Day, my wife got me like one of those, beard kits that you would get that had, the oil and the balms and creams and everything, and I didn't know what the heck to do with it. I had to read up on it, and it worked great. It smelled great, and it seemed like the ingredients were really simple. I'm like, I can probably do this, and so I started in the dumbest way you can imagine. I mean, I literally Googled like beard oil ingredients.
That's the way a lot of people probably at least got started, right?
And that is just sitting at my table, and I Googled the ingredients, and I looked at about a dozen different recipes, and I just kind of combined them all in kind of one aggregate recipe of what should be in beard oil, and that largely is still the carrier blend that I use today. I mean, I've adjusted it a little bit, and we added a new carrier oil last year. But that's kind of what got me into it. I'm like, it just seemed like an easy thing to get into. And so I started doing it, and, then I just kind of started adding stuff on. I think like 6 or 8 months in, I added butters and balms, and like a year in, I added washes and co-washes, and it just kind of went from there. And it's been a labor of love. I mean, I think a lot of small batch makers would probably say the same thing, but I mean, it's been a lot of work, but it's been really, really rewarding. And so I'm happy. I mean, I'm always happy for growth, but just want to make sure that we're putting out good stuff, and that we have a good solid base of people who like what we do, and that's good enough for me.
Yeah, man. And we were talking earlier. You said something I thought was interesting, where you were talking about when you got started and I guess your financial situation at that time.
Oh yeah.
And how you got things kind of going.
Yeah. So so we launched in June of 2018.
Okay.
So we're about 2.5 years in at this point. But early 2018, I got laid off from a job I was working at the time, and so I was just kind of sitting at home, looking at jobs, and applying for jobs and everything else. So the first few batches of Damn Yankee stuff that went out, I was actually using unemployment like check money to fund the early days. So for those of you out there who think that it takes a lot of money to get into, it does not. You just got to start small and just let it grow from there. But the early days were all funded by by the state of Texas. So
hey man, you take a bad situation and make it work for you. That's it.
Well, and we were out of pocket for like the first year, I would say. We didn't really start breaking even until about a year in. And by like a year and a half in, it got to the point where, we started to have a little money set aside for, supplies and all the things, because, you have to buy a lot of stuff. I mean, and we're a small company. I can't imagine, like what a Beard Octane or like a Fable. I can't imagine the amount of stuff that they have to buy, to do what they do. And so, and it all goes back into the business, right? So it is 100% customer supported, right? I've gotten to the point where maybe I pay a bill or two, maybe I keep the lights on, but everything else goes straight back into it. And I'm happy. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for the support that we get. And, I've always said that as long as we keep getting the support, I'll keep doing it. And so I'll be around as long as everybody wants me to be around.
So Damn Yankee does like support itself though, right? Because I know some other companies, they're in situations sometimes where they got to put a little bit in still, and they're waiting for that return one day where the company can stand on its own legs. And Damn Yankee does that right now. It stands on its own 2 feet, basically.
It's been paying for itself for probably about a year and a half, which means that like the money that guys submit with their orders, it goes into, I mean, there's a ton, it goes into carrier oils, it goes into fragrance oils, it goes into, you name it, boxes, bottles, all kinds of stuff. So, new scent. I'm a bad secret keeper. So we've got some stuff coming. We're gonna have a new website here in probably about a couple of weeks. It's gonna have different a separate site for candles, separate site for bath stuff, separate site for beard stuff, but it's all going to be incorporated into one site. So hopefully here in about 2 weeks, we're going to have a more integrated website that doesn't jump around quite so much. New scent wise, yeah, I mean, we got some stuff coming. I'm hoping by the end of January to release our first new scent of the year. Um, and I'll probably just leave it at that because I'm horrible about giving stuff like that away. So, yeah, we've definitely got some stuff planned, and by the end of the month, we will have some body washes going. We'll have some more soap going. So we got some interesting things happening. So as soon as they come together, I will definitely announce it on the Instagrams.
Well, you launched the candles recently, and you got me in trouble, right? So Sam doesn't distinguish the difference of, I can't tell someone when to send things. Things just come, right? So she's like, well, why would you get stuff from him when you knew his candle was coming later? I'm like, I didn't know his candle was coming later, Samantha. Had I have known the candles were coming, I would have gotten you a candle, child. She's
Yeah.
like, no, I think he just didn't want to get me a candle, Dad.
Oh
I'm
wow,
like,
the
wow.
guilt,
Oh
the
man,
guilt.
just stick the knife right in the back. Wow, thanks, kid.
Jesus, she's a
So
pro. Pro.
yeah, yeah,
But that was something that was in the works for a long time. And it was one of those things that I spilled the beans about probably sooner than I should have. But um, it was in the works for probably the better part of a year, and I just put it off and put it off and put it off, and finally, a few months ago, I found a ceramic artist here in the Dallas area, and was able to have them make these for us. The nice thing about it, right? So we're not the only beer company making candles,
right.
but I really wanted it to be something different, right? Like I didn't want to just buy some tins off of Amazon and pour a candle into it, and look, we got candles now. I wanted it to be something special. So we had the ceramic artist do these things specifically for us, and I'm really happy with the way they're coming out. And the whole thing for me was that I wanted it to be a little bit more upscale, right? Like I wanted it to be something where it's not just like a mason jar with some wax in it. I mean, it's nice. I mean, if somebody's going to pay like, $25 for a candle, I mean, that's a lot of money, right? So,
Right.
I want it to be, I want them to get this and be like, yeah, wow, that was worth it, right? So, that's kind of my goal is that when somebody opens one of those, that they feel like, yeah, I really got my money's worth on that.
Scott, that sounds like ridiculously good smelling aromas going through the house because I love that barbershop blend, dude. I seriously, that that sounds like an amazing thing to do. Hit that like button like it owes you money. He said it, not me. He said it. So just saying, Vato said it. How you doing
Speaking
tonight,
of,
Bam?
hopefully here pretty soon we'll do our first. All the candles right now are in beer scents, right? And so maybe I think here in the next couple of months we'll probably try to do the first candle only scent. I just haven't found it yet. I buy a boatload of fragrance oils, just trying them out, see what
Right.
they smell like. I mean, just dozens at a time. I've got a big boxes full of ones I'll never use, and it's it's important to me that it not smell super candly. Does that make sense? Like, I mean, I I don't know. I just don't want it to smell like super fake, and I don't know. So I haven't found a scent yet that I really really like as a candle. So it's coming. I just got to find one.
I get what you're saying. You don't want it to smell like essentially what's sitting on the shelves mostly in stores. You want it to be
Yeah, right.
a
Yeah. So
little
like
different.
exactly. Yeah. Like you don't want to. I don't want it to smell like some like grocery store candle that you just bought at the dollar aisle. I want it to be I want it to be good. I want it to be upscale and smell good. So we'll see. I'll find one.
So you had a question in here. I don't know if you saw it, but if you didn't, I will repeat it for them. They
Oh,
wanted
sorry.
to know what is Damn Yankee's top scent profile, like top seller, if you will?
That's a good question. It's kind of a toss up between pipe bomb and cedar tobacco vanilla.
I knew pipe bomb was going to be in that discussion. It's the one I've heard about the most. That's why. It's the one I hear people talk about the most.
And you know what's funny about that is I saw your review, and you're not the first person who said that pipe bomb's a little strong. So,
yeah, it just, again, it's as a scent profile, it is amazing. It was just a little bit strong when I wore it at times, so I kind of had to be a little selective at times.
One of the first pipe bombs that I ever made. This was, oh man, when did I release this? Like early 2019. I sent one of the early testers to Dan C, right? And the way he tells it, it's like he opened it up and it just kind of filled the room. And I think from the way he tells it, he just kind of shut it back up and just left it sitting there. Because I think I kind of fogged out Dan C's house with pipe bomb. But so I don't think I'm going to change it. But I mean, it is. I have noted that there are some people who say that it's pretty strong. I think that was also Kyle and Joe's feedback on pipe bomb, was that it's pretty punchy.
Do you make the adjustment for 4 or 5 of us that are saying it's a little strong for us, because you've had so many people who have bought it and loved it? So again, that's just so subjective, where some of us might think that's a little bit strong for me, but somebody else gets it and they absolutely love everything about it. You're never going to make everyone happy.
Well, no, that's definitely true. And the funny thing about that, and I'm sure other makers are the same way, like, you only hear from people when they like, people only leave reviews when they really like something, right? So if you look at my website and you see a product, you see reviews on it, they're all good, because people only, when they really like something, when people don't like a scent of mine, I never hear from them. And I really, it sounds weird, but I really wish I would, because I'm never going to improve at what I do if all I'm hearing is positive feedback. Does that make sense?
No, I understand what you're saying. Sometimes you need to hear the negatives out there so you can correct them, you know?
Well, and if it's the truth, it's not a negative. It's just somebody being honest about it, and
constructive criticism.
And I love it when people message me and say how much they love a scent. But I would love to hear from people who say, yeah, I really like pipe bomb, but it's kind of like getting punched in the face with pipe tobacco, and so yeah, it's a funny thing. People are afraid to leave negative feedback, and they shouldn't be if they're honest about it. Just be honest about it. It's not gonna hurt my feelings. I'm gonna take it and run with it.
I've always said that, even with us doing the reviews and stuff, that a negative review can almost be as useful to a company owner if it's an honest and fair review, as a positive one can, because he could then reach out to said reviewer and open the dialogue. Hey, listen, man, what if I did this with the product? What if I did that? Like, you can actually maybe tweak things and find out why people like him aren't enjoying the product. So I get what you're saying, man. If it's honest feedback, it can always be helpful.
Yeah. And, that's a great point. And I'm pretty close with a few, content creators, and I know that doing a bad review is hard. I've talked to Scott after he's done a couple, and he's really wrestled with doing a bad review. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you got to be honest. If you're not honest, then it's not a review; it's a commercial.
Yep. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. There have been times, man, where I've gotten stuff from people, and it, unfortunately, I didn't care for the scent profile or the product, and man, I hated turning that camera on those days. I hated it. But you're right. If you're not honest about it, then it's not a review. It's just a commercial.
Yeah, exactly. So, my advice to people is, as far as I'm concerned, just don't be afraid to get feedback, even if it's not positive feedback. It's all good. And so hopefully in 2021 we'll have some new sounds coming out. So pipe bomb, cedar tobacco vanilla is one um, that I like a lot, and I spent a lot of time on it, and I'm real happy that people like it because it's something that I really kind of put a lot of heart and soul into. I saw some comments earlier about Cavendish. Cavendish is the same way. That's one of those ones that I labored over for a while just because I wanted it to be, right. And so Cavendish sells okay. It's not the best, but I'll put it this way: if you really like pipe, you have to really like pipe tobacco to like Cavendish because there's
Are
not a lot
you
of going on there.
are you a pipe tobacco smoker? Like, do you smoke pipes?
I don't smoke at all anymore.
Really? I would
Yeah.
have sworn you were because you seem to enjoy using pipe tobacco in a few of your scent profiles, and I would have just thought maybe that was because you smoke pipes, or if your grandfather smoked pipes,
Oh,
something
he
like
did.
that.
Yeah, he
Oh,
definitely
see,
did. Um,
my grandfather did too.
yeah, believe it or not, no, I don't smoke at all. Anymore. I'll put it to you this way. I mean, I went to college for jazz, so you do the math. But but yeah, no, pipe tobacco is super versatile. That's the reason I like it. It's because you can use it in a lot of ways. Um, there are some times where I use it, and you may not even know what's in there. It's just used to kind of mellow out other elements. So Cavendish is one of the ones where it kind of takes center stage, which is a little unusual for me. But yeah, no, I don't smoke at all. So yeah, I guess it's kind of weird that do so many tobacco scents because I personally don't even know, no idea what that
Hey
experience
man,
is like.
hey man, you didn't know. You said you haven't been in a barber shop in forever either, and you made a great barbershop blend, so it works. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no. Literally the only time I've been to a barber since the mid '90s was the two times that I've had my beard totally taken off. I had to do it for a job. Um, I had to do it for a job in 2018. So I had went and snip, 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 snip. But yeah, that's really the only time. So yeah, I guess I'm the wrong person to ask what a barbershop smells like, because I haven't been in one for a while.
Dude, if a barber shop smelt like your blend, I'd be in them all the time. Seriously, it's really one of my favorites out there. And again, like I said in the
Well,
review,
appreciate it.
I'm not lying because I mean I've done a bit of damage on that, and I haven't had it for all that long. So I've put some working on it. I like this thing a lot. So
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, dude. Finish your thought, and then
I,
I'll move
I,
on.
I was just gonna say that there's like the core scents that we have. I think there's like five or six, depending on if you count pipe bomb. But I wanted scents that were kind of timeless, right? In other words, I mean, there's nothing trendy about what I'm doing, right? There's no weird animal oils in it or anything else. It's just there's nothing trendy about what I'm doing. I wanted it to be classic, masculine scents that would have passed just as easily 30 years ago as they do now. And so I think by and large I feel pretty happy about where we're at with it. All right, so that barbershop is meant to smell exactly like old school Barbasol shaving cream. So if you've ever had like a big foamy handful of Barbasol shaving
Yeah,
cream, that's what it's
yeah,
supposed
I
to
get.
smell like.
It reminds me of that, and it also kind of reminds me of my grandfather's aftershave for some reason.
Mm.
That's what I get a lot from it. He had this. I swear to you, I think it was about 8 different aftershaves that he ran down to about that much of, and then he just combined them all into one bottle because he never threw anything out.
Oh
He
yeah.
had this clear container that were all in there, and mixed together they made this off blue liquid that smelled like something. I don't even. It was just an amazing smell, but it was like 8 different aftershaves all combined into one. So I can never get that smell again by itself.
Yeah,
What was that? Oh yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, hit that like guys. Vato's telling you to do it. Just saying. But she'd be good, man. So when you get started in this, right? I'm sure you had your goals, all that stuff. When was like that moment for you as you were starting the company, getting rolling, that you felt like, okay, I think we're here. Like not like we're good. I don't have to keep working, but we've arrived. People know who we are, and I think we've got our foot at least in the door, getting our name out there, if you will.
Oh, that's a good question. To be honest, I don't know if that moment's happened yet, but you know, there have been times where, in fact, it happened a couple of months ago when we got like 4 or 5, you know, shout outs on Instagram in the same day. And I mean, I follow almost everybody in there. And so I see, you know, all of that. And, you know, it's amazing. It's amazing to me that I can sit here in this little room, you know, in Fort Worth, Texas, and, you know, somebody in New Jersey or California or, you know, Norway is opening this little bottle of stuff that I made in Fort Worth, Texas, and they like it so much that they post about it on their social media. It absolutely blows my mind. And so I mean, to me that's making it, right? Is
Right.
you know, somebody who likes it so much that they take a picture of it with their phone and post it to their social media. Absolutely makes my day. It really, really does, and that's no exaggeration. Um,
See, I understand that completely because while on the other end of this as a reviewer, I'm sure the ultimate goal for most of us is to get to that point where, you know, you're monetized and you're getting some kind of return off of all the work you put in to your channel. For me, though, my best rewards recently have been when I've had companies wanting to actually work with me because of the content I'm putting out. To me, that's like, wow, that's like that feeling of, okay, they actually see what I'm doing and they like it. And that's a good feeling. Like it makes you feel good. Like I must be doing something okay, at least.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really rewarding to know that the stuff you're putting out is something that people are finding useful and you know, enjoying. So it's, yeah, I mean, it's got to be super rewarding. I do a lot of videos only because, if I'm being really honest about it, I'm super uncomfortable on camera. That's why you see me a
Oh,
lot in any posts. I mean, every now and then, but you know, I'm not in there a lot just because, you know, it was never about me as a person. It's about the products, and it's about um, you know, all of that stuff. So, you know, there are some makers who have the personality for it and have been very successful. You take like a Colin from Fable, or you take Jimmy from Ruddy Man. I mean, they let you in, and they're showing you all of their
right.
the behind the scenes stuff, and it's great. It just, for me, I'm super uncomfortable being on camera, so that's why I don't do a lot of lives or any of that, because I'm kind of weird about it. But
Well, I appreciate you coming on to do mine even more then. Thank you.
no, it's all good. Um, but yeah, no. So 2021, we got hopefully some big things coming up, and you know, we kind of branched off into the candle thing. We're branching off into, you know, I heard you say in your review that you're kind of a soap guy. So I've got some more stuff that I need to send you, because we just branched out into kind of another entity that's doing soaps and body washes and bath stuff. So not
Oh,
specifically beard, you know, stuff. Um,
I'm a bar soap nerd. I'm not ashamed to say it either.
Yeah, you know, I was lucky. I was fortunate to find, making soap's a pain in the butt. and it takes forever. You probably know that, like, when you make a bar soap, it's got to sit there for at least a month
Yeah.
before, so that all the, if you're using lye, all of that stuff has to settle down before you can give it to anybody. So the main thing for me was I wanted to make sure it was 100% natural, right? So there's nothing, there's no weird, chemicals in there. There's no weird colors in there. So for me, I'm one of those kind of less is more guys, right? So it's like I put enough in there that it works, but I don't want to put any extra stuff in there that you don't absolutely need, right? So the soap that we put out is just kind of it's a no BS bar soap. I mean, it doesn't have a bunch of swirling colors and dried flowers on the top of it. It's just a bar soap, and it works great. It works great. Gets you clean, and that's good enough for me.
You know what's amazing is, and I don't know if you're like me or not. What I'm finding is more people are than they're not. Before I got into this little world of ours, this little beard world, and into the products and all that, I never once even looked at what kind of soap I was using. Literally, I'd go into the bathroom, and whatever was in the shower was what I used. I didn't check ingredients, any of those things. Half the time what we bought was whatever was on sale at the store, right? You didn't go out there and buy something. Now all of a sudden I look back and I look at everything and I'm like, man, I'm so happy that I have the soaps I have now. They're all natural. There's no nasty stuff in there. I even yelled at my daughter the other day because she was using a body wash, and I'm like, that's so-and-so's body wash from CVS. Are you crazy? Got 8 million chemicals in there. Get out of here. Knock it off.
Yeah.
You know better than that.
No, I mean, that's exactly what we all did. I mean, if you took, some of my shampoo from, the 90s, and, it was all like, 20 unpronounceable chemical names and everything else, and, fake color, fake scent, fake everything, but we didn't know any better. And
right.
So, I mean, the body wash that we're going to be putting out it's just a liquid steel soap. That's all it is. It's palm oil, it's olive oil, it's potash, which is potassium hydroxide, and some water and some essential oils, and that's it. I mean, and so it doesn't have a bunch of chemicals in it, and we didn't try to cut a bunch of corners to save the money on it, and so I don't know. As I've gotten older, it's just become more important to me. I don't know if when you get older, I guess you start thinking about your own demise. You start with, man, is this the chemical that's going to kill me? Is this going to be the one that does it, right? Is that fake color that's in my body wash going to be what sends me over?
Is this the one that finally gets me? Yeah. So true story here. My uncle was here a couple of days ago, right? And this box right here, okay, not to put another company on while you're here, but this box got me made fun of. Because inside of this box is 10 of these little guys. 10 bars of soap, right? That was actually a win, right? And he's like, what's wrong with you? He's like, go to the dollar store. Just get whatever soap off the shelf. I've never seen a guy take so much worry about what he's washing his body with and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't have dry skin anymore. I don't got, dry scalp. None of. Leave me alone, okay? I'm 36. I look like I'm in my 30s. You're like 50. You look like you're in your 70s. Leave me alone. Go away.
No. Yeah, no. I mean, it's one of those things, and I've been guilty of it too, right? Like 5 years ago, I would have been like, natural soaps or whatever that's hippie bullshit there or something. I don't know. It's some new age weird stuff, but I mean, for me, I've gotten to the point where I changed the way that I showered about 3 months ago, right? I used to be one of those guys that like I would soap up everywhere, everything, every day, and then have like dry skin and be like, what's going on? Well, it's because you you washed away all the oils that your body is trying to send to your skin to keep you from drying out. You just washed all that away.
Right.
And so the last 3 months, I get the pits, I get the bits, and I get my feet, and that's it. And you know, I don't have dry skin anymore. And so the challenge is to not stink when you do all that. So I'm still working on that. But and you know, the same thing with deodorants, right? I mean, I've been using, you know, commercial deodorant for literally my entire life, and only within the last couple of months have I started using like a natural deodorant that doesn't have aluminum in it. So, you know, just trying to do some things, some little things to look out for yourself. And the reason I'm doing it now is because companies have made it easier and cheaper than ever before to take good care of yourself.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, so
I mean, my mom used to, when I was a kid, my mom used to work for Bed Bath and Body Works.
Right.
And they had an all natural section that they always used to try and get her, because she used to make like the monthly advertisements. Back then it actually went out in the mail, you know what I mean, or out in an actual ad. So she used to make those, and they used to try and get her to push the line, and she's like, who's buying a bar of soap for $12? She was like, I don't know who these people are, and I don't want. And that's the thing. Back then, you're right. It was expensive, man. Who was paying that price? Yeah. It's still not the cheapest option on the planet, but it's a lot more affordable nowadays to take better care of your skin.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's one of the challenges, I think, for me in 2021 is I'm going to try and get out there and change that perception of the way you shower, right? Because there's a lot of us who work, you know, physical, dirty jobs where you sweat and you're covered in dirt and stuff at the end of the day. And those guys, yeah, you need to wash yourself off because you got crud on you. But, you know, for a lot of guys who are maybe working in office or just, you know, whatever, like, I don't get that dirty in the course of a day unless something goes horribly wrong. And so I don't need to necessarily get everything every day, and it was just drying my skin out. So I think that's one of my challenges for 2021 is I'm going to try to get out there and change the perception that you need to hit everywhere every day when you shower, because you don't, unless you work, you know, in a physical environment, you know, where you get sweaty and gross, and a lot of us do. But so we'll see how that goes. So it's going to be pits, bits, and feet.
Hey man, if you found something that works for you, so my daughter actually has a bit of, I call it OCD, right? With her hands. Okay. Anytime she touches something and she doesn't like the feeling of it, she has to go wash her hands. And since COVID has started, she's gotten even worse. I mean, she's gone nuts. And I had to actually explain to her what she was doing to her hands. She'd actually formed a bunch of dry red patches that were starting to turn into cuts and stuff. And through that, I had to explain. I'm like, Sam, look what you're doing to your hands. And I had to get her to start using actually some of my beard butters at nighttime on her hands to help bring them back. So you're right. Absolutely right. If you wash an area too often, you're going to dry it out. You're washing away the natural oils that our body creates to keep those areas safe.
Well, and it's the same thing with beards too, right? I mean, your body is doing everything it can possibly do to keep your beard from drying out. So, you know, that's why I don't get this question that often, but, you know, every now and then somebody will message me and be like, hey, how often should I wash my beard? And my answer is always as little as you can get away with, right? Because every time you wash it, it's stripping out the oils that your body's trying to send there to keep your beard from getting dry. So like for me, I mean, I wash my beard maybe twice a week, maybe. And I co-wash maybe 2-3 times a week. And that's it. I mean, I used to do it every day, and I was like, man, my beard is dry, it's gross. So I stopped
Right.
doing it as much, and it got way better. I mean, the reality is water is a pretty good solvent, right? So
Right.
water by itself actually does pretty good. If you got crud in your beard, like earlier today, I had a big thing of black beans going down my beard. That's a long story, but so yeah, no water, and that's kind of my philosophy, right? Is do as little as you can get away with. Somebody was asking earlier about scent profiles coming here. I do have one thing that I can talk about a little. I don't know how much time you have, but here probably in the next 3 to 4 weeks, I'm going to be releasing, in conjunction with Dave Krugman, Kansas City Dave, an oil, an all carry blend that is specifically for gray beards and dry beards.
Right.
Something I've been working on for a couple of months. Our carrier blend works great, but I recently got turned on to another carrier oil, and I tried it, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Made a huge difference. So probably early February, we're going to release a new carrier blend that's specifically for gray beards and dry beards. So
that's cool. And you said you're working with Dave, that bearded guy, Kansas City. Is that what you said?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's the one
Dave's a good dude.
Yeah, he's a very good guy, and I'm also stealing his lighting setup. By the way, I know Dave's videos kind of look like this now, where there's some cool lighting in the background, and
Right.
I don't have money. I don't have Dave money for all of that fancy stuff. So I just I took a lighting. I'm a musician, and I took a lighting rig from my musical days, and just kind of set it up back there, trying to look cool. But no, Dave turned me on to kukui nut oil, and
Okay.
like 6 months ago, I would have been like, yeah, that's some hippie BS, kukui nut, whatever. And but
Right.
it's amazing. Yeah, no, it's amazing. It absolutely makes a huge difference. And for the first time ever, I'll also be using castor oil, which I don't typically use. I don't like a really thick oil. I know a lot of guys do. So this will be This will be the first time we're using castor oil as well. So
I enjoy my thick oils. I don't dislike a thinner oil. I just really enjoy thicker oils.
Right. So that and maybe some collabs this year. I'm still firming some things up, and gonna maybe release maybe a couple Texas themed scents this year. So we'll see.
So that butter you're talking about, sir, that silent but deadly. First of all, I love the fact that you went with the ninja on the cover. However, the first time I read the title of it, I hope I'm not the only person that didn't think of a ninja. I really hope I wasn't the only one. My immature brain went right to silent but deadly. That's funny. That's what I did. I'm sorry.
Like, did I release a product just so I could make a photo? Maybe. Maybe.
Listen, I don't want to be the immature one in the room, but I definitely went right there as soon as I heard the name. That's immediately where I went.
Yeah. No,
and
I'm a younger brother, so anybody who has an older brother knows for sure what it's like to have that upon you. Somebody does that and leaves the room, so it's one of those things. But I'm
the oldest brother, sir.
Oh, there you go. So you were the bear of SBD.
I was the crop duster. I was the torturer in the room. Yep.
There you go. Yeah, no, it's so funny because I'm pretty good buds with Brian Haywood, Beards and Banjos, and he
Another
recently
good guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy and an incredible musician, by the way. He actually gets more traffic on his music channel than he does his beer channel, but he recently did a butter kind of challenge where I think he got like 8 or 9 or 10 companies to all give him unscented butters, and he submitted that one that you're using. And so it was just really interesting to see what everybody's blend is, because I just got one. That's just shea butter. My butter is the same carrier blend that's in our beard oil, with the one exception, and shea butter, and that's it. And I mean, but it's so funny because I got so weirded out when I saw what everybody else's butters, what was in them, because some people have like 6, 7, or 8 different butters in their thing, and I'm like, I must be doing something wrong because I've just got the one, and I don't know. I think it works good, but so remains to be seen.
Hey, man, I think it's awesome, and I loved explaining to my daughter the double meaning behind the silent but deadly. I really did. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. And then my nephew thinks it's cool because he likes the ninja on the cover. So it hits on all phases over here because the little guy comes in the room. The little guy comes in my room and all the time, Uncle Joe, can we do the smells? Can we do the smells? And he just likes to open up all my beard stuff and smell every one of them. He's got new favorites every day, although Black Rebel ranks up pretty high for him because they got monster trucks on the front of their bottles, so he likes that one, Yeah. But man, he enjoys doing all that.
I have been seeing so much Sasquatch in my feed in the last week. I've got to pick one up. I've not tried any of Pedro's stuff yet, but I've been seeing a lot of Sasquatch this week, and the reviews are pretty universally great. So
I've got the Squatch. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and he's from Texas, so that's a double win for me.
Hold on. What am I saw somebody's comment. Was that a question for? Oh, okay, there we go. Shea butter is the best butter, though. That's the butter we see most often used, that's for sure. We see a lot of other butters coming along now as well, but shea butter definitely seems to be at the center of everyone's butter for the most part. I don't want to universally say it, but for the most part, shea butter seems to be at the center. Yeah.
I'm still thinking about, and I actually did send one to Brian for his butter challenge thing, but I'm still thinking about releasing a completely raw beard butter, right? So most companies use refined butters, right? In other words, they're treated and such because they stink. Naturally, they stink. They've got like shea butter, unrefined shea butter's got a really, it's kind of hard to describe. It's almost like licorice, right? But it's got a really distinct smell. I kind of dig it. Yeah, it stinks to high heaven, unrefined shea butter. So most companies use refined butters to take so that you can get a scent on top of it, right? So, nice. You can eat it right out of the thing. There you go.
And Copper Johns uses unrefined shea. Yeah, I believe I remember talking to Tyson about that actually.
Well, good on them. I have never been able to get a scent on top of unrefined shea butter. And the thing is, and I was thinking about this a couple of days ago, right? So in the refining process, you lose about 70% of the nutrients in shea butter, right? So all the vitamins and minerals and good stuff that's in it, you lose about 3/4 of that when you refine it. But it gets rid of the smell. So, the question is, do you use beard butter to make your beard soft, or do you use beard butter to make your beard healthy?
Right.
So that's what I've been trying to get to the bottom of, and I'm not entirely sure. I don't use, the only time I really use butter is when I've got a wicked hay beard going on where it's just all over the place and dry, and I try not to use it that much just because it's something I'm just going to have to wash out later. But yeah, and unrefined is yellow. That's one way you can definitely tell. But anyway, so I don't know, just trying to get some of that out there, and just try to get some info out there, and hopefully some people will find it interesting. Yeah.
So before we do our last couple things here that I want to get to, one question for you as well is, you talked about your top sellers so far, right? The ones that sell well on your website. Number one, what is your personal favorite off of your website? And has there been a scent profile yet that you thought would do really well and did not? Yes,
Yeah.
Samantha. I can't have a live stream without my daughter knocking at the door.
Yeah.
These pants is
You know, it's
and these socks bother me. We're not on trampoline.
I'm live, child.
Pretty cool. They can hear me complain about my socks.
They know you because you know why she has to come in here for her socks? You know why?
I don't
Because
have
she has a laundry basket full of clothes on my floor because she won't put them away.
What's
Yeah.
amazing?
No, we've all
Go,
been
child.
there. We've all been there. Yeah.
I'm gonna have a shirt.
I've lived out of a laundry basket for years.
I can't wear that.
No, she doesn't have to do this. She just does it because she doesn't want to walk up the stairs with her clothes and put them away. It's easier to leave them in here and let Dad take care of it all.
Well, yeah, because that pays off right now. Yeah, putting them away pays off later.
Oh, child, I love you.
No, so the answer is yeah. Scents that are on the website right now that I personally like. I still like cedar tobacco vanilla a lot. And surprisingly, and I forget about this one all the time, but then every now and then I'll wear it and remember why I liked it. The very first scent that I ever made was Papa's Chair. And Papa's Chair is just pipe tobacco and leather, and that's it. It's the only scent we do that has leather in it. And whenever I wear that one every now and then, and I remember why I liked it in the first place, it's because it's masculine and it's kind of classic. And yeah, I've got a ton that didn't sell for anything. I'm trying to think of what the granddaddy for that probably was. So most recently, in the fall collection, the one I was talking about earlier, it was called Glazed Over. Glazed Over was pineapple and clove.
Right.
I liked, but I think I was about the only one who liked it. I kid you not. I almost said something different. I kid you not. I think maybe 4 or 5 people bought Glazed Over, and that's it. I've still got a huge bottle of it that I made that it's just going to sit there. I did one a little over a year ago called Studio. I'm buddies with a guy named Ryan in Canada who's a tattoo artist. A lot of you guys probably know him. He's on Instagram as Oz the Great.
Of course, we all know Oz the Great.
Okay, so I saw Bam in here earlier. He's done a lot of artwork for Bam.
Yeah.
And
Oz is a good dude.
Yeah, and he's super nice. He's Canadian. So
yeah.
It's against the law for Canadians to be rude to anybody. But he did some artwork for me, and the artwork was fantastic. It turns out the artwork was a lot better than the scent, but I wanted something that smelled like a tattoo shop, right? And it's like, okay, what does that smell like? And I don't know if you have any tattoos or not, but you know, the soap that they use to clean up in a tattoo it's called, there you go. It's called green soap, right? It's got a really distinctive smell. And so I made what I thought was a kind of a green soap smelling scent. And it's not that people didn't buy it. It's more that I had to refund more people for that scent than anything else I've ever done, right? I had like a dozen people contact me like, oh, God, this is awful. I hate this. And I'm like, all right, cool. Should I send it back? And I'm like, no, you can't send it back. You've used it. I can't sell it to anybody else. That's gross. And
right.
So, yeah, so I've refunded probably a dozen people on Studio. But you know, it's hit or miss. It really is. And just because I like something doesn't mean people are going to like it. And just because I hate something, it's not going to be a huge seller. So, you know, like I said earlier, one of the things that I'm really trying to do in 2021 is kind of bring it back to, you know, base camp, right? And I'm going to try to release some scents this year that are not quite as wacky as what I've done in the last year, and see if that starts to work with more people. I mean,
some of us like those wacky things, though, man. I mean, some of us want those out there ones, but I get what you're saying. Sometimes you got to kind of rein it back in a little bit and try and hit multiple people who might like certain scent profiles.
I mean, I released a Christmas scent that was peppermint and cannabis, right? And
Yeah.
I love it. In fact, I love it so much I'm turning it into a body wash. But it didn't sell for anything. I think the people that like it really like it. There's a guy in New York, really, really good guy that really likes it. I just sent him a 4-ounce sputter of it this week. But so I don't know. You just gotta. I think you just gotta do you, and everybody's got their thing, right? Like, some guys are known for like Cedric is known for cologne scents,
Right.
and so everybody's got their vibe. And somehow even though I don't smoke, somehow I became the tobacco guy. So maybe this is the year that I become the tobacco guy again. I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, man, whatever you do, I'm sure we're all going to be looking forward to it. But if you're ready, sir, because we do have a giveaway to do, we'll save that for the very end, though, here. I have my little lightning round here, sir, if you're ready for it. It's just a bunch of random questions.
Yeah,
nothing serious. Just a good time. You ready to go?
Let's do it.
All right. Steak or chicken?
Chicken.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Pizza or hamburger?
Oh, now see, that's complicated. In general, pizza.
Okay. Taco or a deli sub?
I'm from Texas, right?
Yeah, I know you're from Texas, dude. I know. Still.
Okay. Yeah, gotta go tacos.
Beer versus wine. I think you've been answering that one throughout most of the night, though. Yeah. That's not whiskey or tequila?
Oh, wow. Whiskey.
Pepsi or Coca-Cola?
Again, so in Texas, everything is Coke. So, yeah, Coke.
Another reason I don't like Texas. There you go. Pepsi guy. My daughter's question, which has been on here from the first show and will stay on here. If you could only have one dessert, cake or ice cream, which one?
Ice cream, for sure.
Yep, she'll be happy. PlayStation.
Unless I can have ice cream cake.
Yeah, no, she says that's cheating, unfortunately. I don't know. Talk to her. PlayStation or Xbox?
Xbox.
Apple or Android?
Apple, all the way.
I'm not sure how old you are, but this might be your generation. Transformers or Thundercats?
Oh, wow. I think just for the swag, Thundercats.
There you go. Good man.
No.
Battleship or Monopoly?
Oh, Monopoly. Yeah.
So you like playing board games for about 3 hours. Okay. That's, everybody's got their thing. Favorite candy?
Oh, wow. Reese's.
Favorite cereal?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Sopranos or Game of Thrones? Better show.
Oh, wow. Again, that's complicated. I'm going to go Game of Thrones.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you that one.
I know.
Jersey, right? Jersey thing.
Right.
Trying to get as many votes as I can for the Sopranos, but it happens. Favorite horror movie?
Oh, wow. The Exorcist.
Ooh, good one. Nice. Very nice. Who wins in a fight, Superman or Thor?
Superman.
Favorite actor?
Favorite actor? Ooh, Eddie Murphy.
Oh, that's a good one. Nobody ever picks that guy. It's a good one, though. My dad loved Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy and Dice. My dad loved both of them.
Yeah, so I'm 51, so I'm that generation of 80s guy.
Right, when Eddie was coming along, revolutionizing comedy, pretty much changing it forever.
Exactly.
Yeah. Favorite actress? It can be based off of looks, talent, whatever you want it to be, sir.
Oh, wow. I don't watch a ton of movies. The actress that plays Captain Marvel, I forget her name.
I can't remember right now either, but I know who you're talking about. If Johnny Grooms is in here, Johnny will put it up. He'll probably remember, but I can't remember it right now.
Hang on. Who is it? Oh, there we go. Brie Larson.
Oh, thank you.
Mrs. Yankee has chimed in.
Thank you, Mrs. Yankee. Appreciate it. Music guilty pleasure. And what I mean by that is everybody's got their like specific genres, whatever. And then there's, for whatever reason, there's those weird songs that come out that we probably shouldn't like, but we do.
Yeah. The most embarrassing, so again, I'm a musician kind of by trade. So the most embarrassing style of music that I like that I can't admit to any of my musician friends, I love like mellow 70s music, right? So like, you know, James Taylor, like Cat Stevens, like mellow stuff from the 70s, which is not cool to admit, but like when I'm just by myself, that's what I'm listening to. Yeah,
mine is one that always gets laughed at because it's the Dancing Queen. And there's a reason for it. My grandfather, if you get to know me better, is, to my opinion, he was the greatest man that ever lived. And one of my best memories of him is at a family wedding where he's had one too many Johnny Walkers, and he's got a table napkin wrapped around his head, another one in his arm, and he's dancing, singing Dancing Queen. Yeah. So every time I hear the song, it makes me think of him. Every time. Never fails.
That's great.
Nike or Reebok?
Ooh. Can I say neither? I'm an Adidas guy.
Yeah, you can. There you go. That's fine. Yeah. I'll take a other option. That's cool. Better movie, Goodfellas or The Godfather?
Oh, wow. This is painful, but I got to say Goodfellas.
See, man, more and more people say it. Like, The Godfather is a classic, but
Goodfellas
was like revolutionary. Yeah. It was almost perfect.
I think Goodfellas is probably a lot closer to what it was actually like being in the mob.
Right. That would be my assumption as well. Yeah. I think that was a more realistic take on things.
Yeah. I love both those movies, but Goodfellas is great.
Or at least maybe a better way to even put that is a more realistic take on the everyday mafia figures. Whereas The Godfather followed maybe guys who were way up on the totem pole, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Favorite cartoon?
Ooh, wow. I'm good with anything Bugs Bunny.
There you go. They want to know what instrument you play real quick before I continue on.
I play guitar and sing and write.
There you go.
Yeah, just had it for a little while. I've been playing guitar for about 40 years. But
all right. Scooby-Doo or Yogi Bear?
Gotta go Scooby-Doo, and I'll tell you why. It's not even for Scooby-Doo. It's because Casey Kasem did the voice of Shaggy on the original series. That's why.
There you go.
Right.
Who wins in a fight? Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees?
Oh, wow. It's got to be Jason because, like, they can't kill him in any of those movies. Like, he just keeps coming back no matter what they do to him. Yeah.
Same category. Who wins, Leatherface or Michael Myers?
Gotta go Leatherface.
You think the chainsaw gets him?
He's wearing a mask. Yeah, he's wearing a mask made of human skin. I mean, what are you going to do to that guy? Right.
I get what you're saying and all, but Mike's my favorite, so I never go against him. Chucky or Leprechaun?
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Oh, dear. Is it like, which one is more disturbing?
Which one's more disturbing? Yeah.
Gotta be Chucky.
You do that. Although dolls are creepy.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah. No.
Who wins in a fight, Pennywise or Pinhead?
Oh, wow. Gotta go Pennywise.
It's a good call. I never saw Pinhead really do anything, so. Better show, Walking Dead or American Horror Story?
You know, I've never seen American Horror Story. I thought it
Really?
was great. I just never gotten around to it. So I got to go Walking Dead. A lot of Walking
There
Dead.
you go. Oh, I love Walking Dead as well. Sad that the main thing is happening, but the universe I think will continue on for quite a while still.
Oh yeah.
Who wins in the upcoming monster movie showdown? Because yes, I'm a monster movie nerd. King Kong or Godzilla?
I've got to go Godzilla.
Thank you. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
watched these new movies, but I don't see any way that Kong beats this Godzilla. I just don't.
No, he's just a big gorilla. I don't see. I mean, unless you're flying a plane, you're probably going to be okay.
Better comics, Marvel or DC?
Oh, Marvel all the way, in my opinion.
American muscle cars or import cars?
American muscle.
Good man. A notebook like this guy right here.
Yeah.
Or a laptop?
Well, if you're saying laptop, then I got to go with the notebook.
Mm-hmm.
But I write a fair amount, so I do that on tablet and iPhone. So that's a huge tool for me. But yeah, laptop is pretty useless for me at this point.
Favorite cookie?
Classic chocolate chip.
There you go. MMA or boxing?
MMA.
Favorite TV show when you were a kid?
Favorite TV show? I'm trying to think of one that's not going to make me sound 100 years old. Friends.
Okay. Better actor, Arnold or Sylvester Stallone?
Up here, because neither one of them is that great. I got to go with Arnold.
And then who wins in a fight? Who wins in a fight?
Arnold, all the way.
Yeah. Okay. Who wins in a fight? Bruce Lee or Chuck Norris?
They actually did fight in the movie. I don't remember them though.
Yeah, I remember it.
Got to go Bruce.
Yeah, Chuck's the man, but I don't see anybody beating Bruce. Football or basketball?
I'm sorry, what was the first one?
Football or basketball?
Football.
Baseball or hockey?
Believe it or not, hockey.
Hey man, I've tried, dude. I've tried. I just can't get into it.
Yeah, no, I understand.
I've tried though. I've tried more than once. I think it's because I don't really understand all the rules and stuff. I just get lost and I give up.
It's basically just ice soccer.
I know you said football over basketball. Do you watch basketball at all though?
Okay, so if I'm being 100% honest, I don't really watch sports at all.
Okay, cool.
Which is a weird thing to say, especially, yeah. So like now when people hate on the Cowboys, it doesn't really bother me because I don't particularly care for them either. So, I mean, I support local teams and stuff. In general, I don't watch a lot of sports, so sorry.
It was just the next question was going to be who's better, Michael Jordan or LeBron James? And if you don't watch basketball, you wouldn't really,
I mean, yeah, I got to go Michael Jordan though. I mean, isn't he pretty much the greatest of all time?
That's what some people think. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The argument can be made both ways, but a lot of people would still side. I grew up on Jordan, so I'll always kind of lead towards him, but LeBron James is kind of like something I've never seen before. But hey, if you had to choose one genre, rock music or pop, which would you keep?
Oh, rock for sure.
Country or rap?
Again, that's complicated. So I'm going to say rap because I still am really not on board with country music. So.
Okay. Any place you can visit before You leave this earth, where would it want to be?
I've always wanted to go to Japan. So like Tokyo, I think. I'll get there one
They've
day.
got they've got some crazy amusement parks and stuff out there. Like they got like a Godzilla museum out there, and it's nuts.
I will have to check
Again,
that out.
the monster movie nerd in me. I really want to go there one day. Like you have no idea how bad I would love to go through there.
There you go.
Any historical figure you can hang out with, who would it be?
I've always wanted to hang out with Hendrix, Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, very cool.
Guitar player thing, but yeah, I would love to sit down with him.
And then the last two questions I always ask from the first day I started this thing. Number one, how do you like your steak, sir?
This is a point of contention in my marriage, by the way, but as rare as you can possibly get it.
Ugh, no. Steak's supposed to be cooked, my friend. I'm sorry. It's supposed to be cooked. Okay?
Yeah. You sound like my wife.
You sound like my father. My father used to tell waitresses, listen, they'd be like, how do you want your steak, sir? And he would go, just take it out, right? Put it on a plate, walk it through a hot room, then slap it on its ass real quick, and throw it on my plate.
Yeah.
And
the way I eat a steak absolutely grosses my wife out.
Oh, well, hey, man. If it makes you happy, right?
It does. I'm a simple man.
And then the other one is, does pineapple belong on a pizza?
Oh, wow. That's the question, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
No, it does not.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
No, it does not. It does not, folks. And I won't ever stop this because it doesn't belong there.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
there it is, my friend. You survived my little lightning round, my friend. Thank you for playing along.
Yes, sir. My pleasure.
All right, guys. Pete was cool enough to do a giveaway for tonight. So, Pete, if you want to go ahead and tell them what we're going to give away real quick.
So let's do a combo. Beard oil and 2-ounce butter in any scent that's on the website. And so that's going to be Papa's Chair, Barbershop, Tobacco Bay Leaf, Cedar Tobacco Vanilla, Pipe Bomb, just anything. Anything that's on the site, I'll do it for you.
Get the barbershop. Get the barbershop. If you don't have the barbershop, get the barbershop. Okay?
Absolutely.
Just saying. So what we're going to do, guys, is Sam actually heard about this already, right? She knew we were doing the giveaway. So she picked a number. All I can do now is give you the range, and then I'm going to open the paper as you guys are guessing. I don't even know what number she picked. Okay? So what we're going to do is I got to actually, Sam, I'm going to have to open the paper because I got to know what the range is. She told me I couldn't check until somebody actually won, but that's not possible, right? It doesn't work that way?
Yeah, no, it's not cheating.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a random number, 10 through 20, only enter once, and remember the internet prioritizes your answer on your screen. 10 through 20, go. I can't whistle. It's terrible. I can sometimes, but most of the time it just sounds like somebody's dying while trying to whistle.
So while you're finding the correct answer,
mm-hmm.
Who wins in a fight? Dracula or Frankenstein?
Dracula, all the way. I just think
Really?
he's got too many. I mean, the big man's the big man, obviously. He's probably going to have the power advantage, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But I think Dracula's got too many abilities, too many. He's a thinking creature, you know? He can figure things out.
What is the best vampire movie ever made?
Oh, that's... You know, right off the top of my head, the one that's popping into my head is actually Blade 2, honestly. Blade 2 keeps popping into my head right now.
Okay, all right.
I don't know if that's it, but that's the one that keeps popping into my head at the moment. I didn't like Trinity much. I felt like Wesley Snipes didn't want to be there for that one. Right. And the Underworld series, which could have been really, really, really good, after like the first movie started getting kind of boring, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It had the potential to be really good, but all right, guys, you can go ahead and stop. We have a winner. And you've got to be kidding me right now.
Oh, who is it?
It's a guy who, for some reason, has immense luck on my channel. Like, ridiculous luck. And again, guys, so here's your winning number. Sam wrote it down earlier. Okay, there it is. And the winner is Beard Code. Congratulations, Devin, because he's got like hidden cameras in my house or something. The dude, he just gets incredibly lucky on my channel all the time.
Well, that's good.
All the time. Yeah, see? No way. Yeah. Always him. Always, for some reason.
Devin's got a little bit of my stuff. Yeah, he reviewed the fall stuff. So.
And Devin's a good guy. I just like busting his chops. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, throw congrats out there, guys. Congratulations to Devin, man. Yeah. And thank you to all you guys for showing up tonight. Appreciate it. And hold on, wait. I was just reading one thing. Mm-hmm. There it is. That's what I was looking for from Carrie. Whoever wins, just cut to the chase and get pipe bomb.
Well, you know, that means a lot coming from Carrie. Carrie was on fire in 2020. That's got to be best company.
Code, it's your win. You can do whatever you want with it, my friend. If you want to pay it forward to Diablo, that's your call. Just make it official here so that way, you know, Pete knows and he doesn't have to figure out why somebody else is messaging him when you won. So, all right.
Fair enough.
Write it down just in case. All right, gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody. Again, I want to thank Pete. Seriously, dude, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
The last thing I would like to give you a minute to respond to, if you want, is in your perfect world, where's Damn Yankee 5 years from now?
You know, it's really hard to say because, I mean, I've never really specifically set goals for where I want to be. I mean, my goal in the next 5 years is that I can do this full time. Right now, I cannot. I work a regular Joe day job, just like everybody. So that's my main. That's how I'll know I've really made it. Is if I can do just this and only this, then that'll be. That's where I hope to be 5 years from now.
That would be. I mean, that's probably everybody's ultimate goal when they do something like this. Is that one day this is all they do, and that would probably. I'm sure it would be really cool to see where you're working for yourself. Everything you're doing is putting money back into your pocket and for you. And I'm sure that's probably an amazing feeling.
It's really interesting. It is really satisfying. And I know we got to wrap up, but I know it's satisfying because, you know, sitting at my kitchen table in, you know, early 2018 and having this idea as an idea and seeing it come to life, seeing it come to fruition and seeing what it's grown into has been really, really amazing. So I again, thankful to everyone who supported us, everyone who has ordered from us. You guys definitely make it happen 100%. And I literally would not be here doing this without your support. So I really appreciate it.
Logan, no after dark tonight, brother. It's a Thursday night and the kids got school tomorrow. No after darks tonight, my friend. Talk to me and Johnny Grooms tomorrow after the reviewer's table. Maybe you can talk us into it then, depending on how long that one goes. But Pete, man, again, I really want to thank you for, number one, for coming on the show tonight, and number two, for understanding last month when I had to push everything back and it took me a little longer than I would have liked to get the video out for you and things like that. So I appreciate you understanding about all that.
It is no problem. Family always comes first. Beard stuff is way down the list. So speaking of family
child.
stuff.
I know. I love you. Sweet dreams. Good night. Say good night to everybody.
Good night.
I got to do something right when she comes in on her own to tell me it's bedtime. I mean, that's not bad, right?
You're raising her right.
So again, thank you, Pete. Thank you to everybody for watching. And next week we'll be back. We'll have Kerry from Define Beard on. So we're looking forward to that one. Yeah. And until next time, you guys stay safe, stay bearded, be good to each other, and take care of each other out there, all right? I'll see you on the next one, boys.